Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
You have a chemistry exam on the 11th?
Yes.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. I cannot edit on this. 1 minute. November 21. What characteristics of all living organisms are needed to release energy for growth? Breathing and respiration, or excretion and nutrition, or excretion and respiration, or nutrition and respiration?
D.
Yes, because it releases energy for growth. So it's D, correct. Okay. Now, two animals have an identical sequence of amino acids in one of the proteins found in their cells. What does this indicate about these animals? So they have an identical sequence of amino acids. They have been eating the same type of food, or they have not been exposed to substances that cause mutation, or they are members of the same genus, or they share an ancestor.
D.
Yes, they share an ancestor. Muhammad, I want you to participate, okay? Please don't stay silent. So it is D. They share an ancestor. This is an easy one. Which row shows the structure on the outside of a plant cell and the location of the chloroplast and the cell? So the structure on the outside of a plant cell, is it cell membrane or cell wall?
Cell wall.
Of course, it's cell wall. Now, the location of the chloroplast in the cytoplasm or in the vacuole?
The cytoplasm.
Very easy. The first few questions are very easy. The length of a mitochondrion is 15 millimeters, and the actual length is 3 micrometers. What is the magnification? What is the formula?
Oh, yeah.
1 minute. Just want to allow anyone to enter. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're here. The length of the mitochondrion is 15 millimeters, and the actual length is 3 micrometers. What is the formula for the magnification?
Image over image over pixel.
Yes, it's I am. Now, what will be, we want the magnification. What is I?
Image.
Yes, which is which number, 15 millimeters or 3 micrometers?
15 millimeters.
Correct. And what is the value for I?
Going converted to micrometers, so multiply 1000.
Yes, 15 times 1000. This is going to be 15, 1, 2, 3. And we will divide this over 3. And what will be the answer? It will be what? Can you
5000.
calculate that?
5000.
Times 5,000. Okay. Now, question 5, easy up till now. The diagram shows some cells. Where are these cells found? Alimentary canal, blood, bronchus, or plant roots?
C.
Yes, they are in the bronchus. Okay. They're not in the alimentary canal. In the alimentary canal, I have microvilli, villi and microvilli. These are cilia. The cilia is found in the respiratory system. So in the intestines, you have the microvilli. They look like this. Okay, so this is the difference. Which statement about turgor pressure is correct? It creates a pull in the xylem which allows water to move upwards. It allows sucrose and amino acids to travel upwards and downwards in the phloem. It is a pressure that is only found in cells containing chloroplasts. It is a pressure that helps to provide support for plants. What is the answer for number 6?
D.
D.
Yes, it provides support. Which words complete the definition of diffusion? Diffusion is the net movement of particles from a region of their, now this is so easy. What
Higher.
word? Higher, of course, so you will choose either A or B, to a region of their
Lower.
lower concentration. Now, question 3 will make the difference, or number 3 will make the difference. Up or down a concentration gradient?
Down.
Down.
Down, of course. So it's B. Now, try to avoid doing any mistakes in the first 20 questions because they are the most easiest. The bases on one of the strands of a DNA molecule have the sequence shown. What is the corresponding sequence of the bases? Now, the corresponding for A,
T.
T. So this is T, and the corresponding here will be T. And T, the corresponding will be
A.
A.
A. Good. And the corresponding for C,
G.
G. And this is another A. And this is another C. So what is the answer? T, T, A, G, A, C.
D.
Yes, most of the answers are D. If you get most of the answers the same letter, don't be surprised. It is possible. Now, in a photosynthesis experiment, a plant is left in bright sunlight for several hours. A leaf is then removed from the plant and tested for starch using iodine. The diagram shows the leaf from the plant that was used in the experiment. Now, this is the white area and the green area. Which diagram shows the result of the experiment? Now, look, A, B, C, or D?
C.
C.
Yes, this question is repetitive. I see it in every exam, this experiment. Okay. An experiment was carried out to investigate the pH, the effect of pH on enzyme, and the graph shows the results. So this x-axis and the y-axis and the traditional graph that we know very well. What are the labels for the x and the y? What will be plotted on the x?
pH.
pH.
Correct. And the y?
Rate of reaction.
Rate of reaction. Very good. 4 test tubes were set up as shown. In which test tube is the starch digested most quickly? So we will look for the test tube that has the most suitable environment, suitable temperature, enzyme is present, substrate is present. Okay, now you have here a water bath at 15 degrees and another water bath at 35 degrees Celsius. Which one will be a more suitable temperature for the enzyme? 35 or 15? 35. So A is wrong and B is wrong. So the answer is either C or D. Let's look. In C, I have the starch and the enzyme. In D, I have the starch and boiled enzyme. So the answer is very clear. What's the answer?
C.
C. Very easy. 2 similar leaves are set up in the test tube as shown. One is exposed to light while the other is kept in the dark. Now, the moment you see the word light, then this plant is doing what?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis immediately, okay? So you have a green leaf and orange hydrogen carbonate indicator solution, and the green leaf and the black pepper. Now you need to know the colors of this solution or this indicator. Hydrogen carbonate in acidic pH, in CO2 secretion, in high CO2 levels. What will be its color?
Yellow.
Yes, okay, yellow. So here, after a few hours, which color would the hydrogen carbonate indicator solution be in each test tube? Now, in the light and in the dark. Look here, in the light. In the light, it will be doing what? Photosynthesis or respiration?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. So the CO2 levels will be high or low?
Low.
Low, very good. So what is the color of the hydrogen carbonate when the CO2 levels are low?
Purple.
Purple. So the answer is very obvious. It's B. And in the dark, the CO2 levels will be high or low?
High.
High.
High because of high respiration. So it will be yellow. So the answer is B. So this is an easy question only if you know the colors of the hydrogen carbonate indicator. Which food is the best source of vitamin C? Bread, meat, milk, or oranges? Now this is
D.
D. Yes. The diagram shows part of the human alimentary canal and associated organs. Which structure produces hydrochloric acid? B, A, C, or D?
C.
C.
C, of course, the stomach. The diagram shows a large food molecule changing into smaller molecules. This is process X. What is process X? Absorption, chewing, digestion, or secretion?
Digestion.
Of course. Now, I am asking you, which type of digestion, physical or mechanical? Physical or chemical?
Chemical.
Chemical, of course, because we're breaking the bonds. Okay. 16. The diagrams show sections of a leaf and a root. This is the leaf here, and this is the root. Which two labeled structures identify the xylem? Now take a second and look at the structures and identify the xylem.
D.
D, 2 and 4. Let's see. 2, yes, of course. This is the vascular bundle here, and it is pointing directly at a tissue that has thick walls, so 2 must be the xylem. And 3 is the root, and the xylem is in the center. Correct. This is the xylem. Can you tell me what is 3?
Phloem.
Yes, 3 is the phloem. Well done. What is 1? What is 1? Correct. Yes, yes. Palisade. Yes. Good. Minute, I'll charge my laptop. Yes, thank you. Okay. What holds the water molecules together during the transpiration pull in the xylem? I just received this question yesterday on my phone. What's the answer for question 17?
B.
Yes.
Cohesion.
Okay, if you forgot this part, revise the transpiration pull. The pulling of the water of the xylem, it's due to two factors: changes in hydrostatic pressure and the forces of attraction between the water molecules, which is cohesion. Which component of blood produces antibodies? Lymphocytes, phagocytes, plasma, or red blood cells?
Lymphocyte.
Again,
Lymphocyte.
it's a direct question. Good. 19. What is the function of the septum? To contract in order to pump blood, to prevent backflow of blood, or to prevent oxygenated and deoxygenated blood mixing, to provide the heart muscle itself with oxygenated blood?
C.
Yes. Now 20. So the easy questions are finished. What causes the air pressure in the lungs to decrease during breathing in? Contraction of the external intercostal or expansion of the lungs causing a decrease in the volume of the alveoli, outward movement of the ribs and upward movement of the diaphragm, higher pressure in the atmosphere than in the lungs causing the alveoli to expand.
A.
Yes, I want you to notice or to pay attention to this question because we're talking about breathing in, inhalation. So we will contract the muscles, the diaphragm, and the external intercostal muscles. The diaphragm will become flat, this is flat, okay? And the external intercostal muscles will make the rib cage move up and out, up and out. Why does this happen? So that we increase the volume inside our chest cavity, we reduce the pressure inside our chest area, and the pressure will be lower than the atmospheric pressure, than the pressure outside, and the air will move downwards and from high pressure to low pressure, from the external environment to the internal environment inside your lungs to fill your alveoli. So the answer is A. 21. Some features that help to defend the body against pathogens are listed: mucus, skin, stomach acid, and phagocytosis. Which features can prevent pathogens entering body tissues? 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of them? Or 1, 2, and 3 only? Or 2 and 3 only? Or 4 only?
B.
A.
Yes, 1, 2, and 3. Now let's see why not 4. Okay, why not 4? It is
Because
B.
phagocytosis is a process, not
What did you
phagocyte.
say? I did not hear you.
Because phagocytosis is a process, not
Well, phagocytosis means that the pathogen already entered the body tissue and the body is going or trying to defend itself. We want to prevent the pathogen from entering in the first place. And those three are trying to prevent the pathogen from entering in the first place. The mucus is trying to prevent the pathogen from reaching your lungs. Your skin is preventing the pathogen from reaching your blood. The stomach acid is killing the pathogen so that it prevents it from entering your intestines. So those three help in prevention. Phagocytosis actually defend. Phagocytosis actually kill the pathogen that has already entered. Okay, so the answer is B, but we need to understand why it is B. Starting 20 to 40, so the first half of the exam is easy. The second half is a little bit tricky, so pay attention. In a balanced chemical equation for aerobic respiration, what are the products?
D.
D.
Mm, Carbon dioxide, water, yes, correct coefficient. 23, the diagram shows the structure of part of a kidney tubule and associated blood vessels, the glomerulus, and what is X? Tell me
Bowman's
the name of
capsule.
X. Yes, the Bowman's capsule. Which substances are normally present at the filtrate at X? Is glucose present?
Yes.
Yes, of course. And urea?
Yes.
Yes. So it's T. Okay. Glucose, urea, water, amino acids, the small soluble molecules will be present. Which situation is a voluntary action? An increase in heart rate in response to danger, blinking to avoid injury to the eye, raising your hand to answer a question, or sweating in hot weather. Voluntary means
C.
you can control or you cannot control.
You can
Yes, you're
control.
correct. You can control. Well done. Okay, 25. Very good. We're doing a very good job. When we read a book, our eyes accommodate to view near objects. What statement or which statement is correct when viewing a near object? Ciliary muscles will contract, suspensory ligaments are slack, and the lens is thicker. Ciliary muscle will contract, the suspensory ligaments are tense, and the lens is thinner. Ciliary muscle relaxes, suspensory ligaments are slack, and the lens is thinner. Or ciliary muscle will relax, and the suspensory ligaments are tense, and the lens is thicker.
A.
Of course, okay? Always when you're studying, when you're looking at something very close, the ciliary muscle will contract, it moves forward, and then the ligaments will become loose or relax, and the lens will be thicker. Okay, so that it accommodates the light and focuses the light to fall on the retina. How does the body increase blood glucose concentration? Increase blood glucose, pay attention. Insulin is released or glucagon is released by the
Glucagon.
pancreas. Yes, so what's the answer? It's B.
B.
Yeah, okay. You're always confused between glucagon and insulin. Insulin is released to lower blood glucose, and the glucagon is released to increase blood glucose. So the insulin is released after you eat lots of chocolate. The glucagon is released when you're fasting, when you did not eat for a long time and the blood glucose is very low. Which definition of a drug is correct? A substance that increases the rate of a chemical reaction and is not changed by the reaction. What is the definition of A? A is the definition of what?
Enzyme.
Well done. Enzyme. A protein that functions as a biological catalyst. This is also an enzyme. A substance taken into the body that modifies or affects chemical reactions in the body, or a chemical
Yes.
substance produced. Yes. Okay, good. I hope you get an easy exam. 8. A seed is placed and grown on a rotating disc as shown. Seed pinned to the constantly rotating disc. Now, what is this rotating disc called, and what is its function? Who remembers the name of this device? We took it in the lesson coordination in order to cancel out the effect of the, excuse me, it's the clinostat. Clinostat, if you remember. Yeah, clinostat. Now, forget the name. The name is not important. What is the function of this device? And why do we use it?
Evenly
Excuse
distribute the
me?
oxygen.
For
So
equal
if
distribution of the oxygen, correct? To cancel out the effect of the stimulus, whether it is light or gravity. So what would be the answer for A if there is equal distribution of oxygen?
A.
A.
Oh, I just told you the answer. Wasn't it? Okay. 29. Which hormone stimulates the release of an egg from the ovary during the menstrual cycle? Direct question. No, FSH does not release the egg. FSH helps in the growth and the development of the follicle. It's not A. Of course,
B.
it's LH, the luteinizing hormone. Yes. Follicle stimulating hormone helps in the development and the growth of the follicle. And as the follicle is growing, the follicle releases estrogen. So there are actually two functions for the FSH: growth of follicle and release of estrogen, helps in the release of estrogen. LH for ovulation, just one function. Estrogen for secondary sexual characteristics, and in menstruation, it helps in thickness of the uterus with the same function as the progesterone. It maintains the thickness of the uterus, and those two prevent the release of the FSH and the LH. Some descriptions of different human cells are listed. They contain 46 chromosomes, haploid nucleus, diploid nucleus, contains one set of unpaired chromosomes. Which descriptions are correct for the number of a human gamete?
2 and
Now,
4.
this is also easy. Yes, haploid and one set of unpaired chromosomes. Good. We have 10 more to go. Very good. Which adaptive feature is only found in female gametes? Acrosome containing enzymes, flagellum, jelly coat, nucleus containing chromosomes.
Jellicoe.
Jellicoat.
Yes. It's not D because any cell will have a nucleus containing chromosomes, but the jelly coat is only found in female gametes. A man of genotype AB and woman of genotype BO have a child. What is the chance that the child will have the same blood group as one of his parents? So the parent is either AB or BO. What is the chance that the child will have the same blood group as one of its parents? Now, to answer this question, do I give you a chance or I help you? You have to do a Punnett square. Like you have to get a pencil, okay, on the exam and do a small Punnett square here to the side of the question. And this is one parent, AB. And this is another parent, BO. And of course, you know that BO is recessive. So this child will be AB. This child will be BB. This child will be A. His blood type will be A because O is recessive. And this child will be B because O is recessive. So I have 4 children. Okay, how many of them can have blood type similar to either parents, AB or BO? How many?
2 and 4. 1 and 2.
Why 2? Why 2? This child is AB. This child has blood type B. This child has blood type B also. Maybe different genotypes, but blood type B and blood type B.
Also
This child only, yes, 3 in 4. So the answer will be D. Okay, let me highlight this question because it can be a little bit tricky. Any inheritance questions, the best thing to do is a small Punnett square so that you don't get confused. Which statement is correct? Genetic variation can be caused by phenotypic variation. Mutations can be caused by phenotypic variation. Phenotypic variation can be caused by genetic variation. Phenotypic variation cannot be caused by mutations. Now they're playing around with words. Which sentence is grammatically correct?
C.
Yes, phenotypic variation can be caused by genetic variation. 34. The diagram shows a section through the leaf of a water lily. Now, what are these? You tell me.
air spaces
Yes, and what is the importance of the air spaces?
for the plant to
Circulation.
float.
Yes, so the plant can float. Good. Water lilies are hydrophytes. Hydrophytes means the plants live on water. They have large air spaces than most other plants. How does this adaptation help the lily to survive? Increase the number of chloroplasts for photosynthesis or make the leaf buoyant enough to float on water? Provides more space for the exhalum and phloem or speeds up gas exchange. Now, this is very obvious.
B.
B. Okay, even if you don't know what buoyant is, only those who took physics will know what buoyant is. Buoyant means float. It's just a more sophisticated word for float. You will get it from float on water. Good. A species of insect usually has pale colored wings. This helps to camouflage them on pale colored tree trunks. A few of the insects in this species have darker colored wings. After a number of years, the tree trunks became darker in color due to environmental changes. The insects with dark colored wings became more common than insects with pale colored wings. Which process causes this change in the proportion of insects with dark colored wings? Biotechnology, conservation, natural selection, or selective breeding?
Natural
C.
selection.
Natural selection.
Okay, nice and obvious. The graph shows the growth curve for a population of bacteria. So this is time and number of bacteria. It increases slowly, then it increases exponentially, and then constant, and then they die. The table identifies each phase shown in the graph. Which row is correct? What is the death phase?
S.
S. Okay. If you're sure it's S, then A is wrong and D is wrong. Good. So you will narrow down your answers to B or C. What is the exponential phase or the log phase? Q or P?
Q.
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 So it's very obvious the answer is B. Okay, good.
Just gonna ask you a question.
Of course.
One time when I was solving, there was a question that said, which phase has the most number of bacteria? And I said the exponential phase.
No,
And
it's
then you
not
said no.
exponential phase. It's the R.
Yeah, why?
In the exponential phase, the number of bacteria is still increasing. The number of bacteria is increasing, increasing, increasing until it reaches the maximum. So where is the maximum? R.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then from there, it will decrease when they start to die.
Okay.
Bacteria can be genetically engineered to produce human protein. What happens during this process? The human plasmids are isolated using restriction enzymes. Ligase is used to create sticky ends in bacterial plasmids. Restriction enzymes are used to create sticky ends in human DNA. Human DNA is isolated using ligase.
C.
Yes. Okay. Human insulin, let me zoom in. Human insulin is a protein that can be made by genetically engineered bacteria. This involves the transfer of genetic information to bacteria. The diagrams show cells and parts of cells involved in this process. This is a bacterial cell, this is the plasmid, this is the human cell, and this is the ribosome. What is the correct order of transfer of genetic information? So, which number do we start with?
Human cell.
First, yeah, look, let's take it one by one. We'll start with the human cell, and then we will take out the plasmid from the bacteria, okay? And then we will definitely fuse them together, and we will put it back in the bacterial cell. And inside the bacterial cell, they will start to replicate, 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 and produce the gene that we isolated, the gene that we want using the ribosome. So what do you think about A? Is A right or wrong?
Yes.
A is very correct. Okay, because you have to isolate the gene first from the human cell, and then you have to isolate the plasmid from the bacteria, and then you will fuse them together to create a recombinant plasmid. Okay, a plasmid that is part human, part bacteria, and then we will put it in another bacteria altogether, and then we will put this bacteria in a fermenter, if you remember, and this bacteria will multiply, multiply, and while it is multiplying, it will produce the genes that we put it inside the bacteria using the ribosomes. It will produce the protein that we want, for example, the insulin protein, because it's a hormone. Okay, so A is the correct order. What is an effect of an increase in the use of insecticides? Decreased competition between crop plants and weeds, decreased numbers of extinctions, decreased numbers of pollinators, decreased use of fertilizers.
C.
A.
C.
It's not A at all. Insecticides kill insects. And these insects, for example, if we take a bee, is an insect. It is an insect. This bee helps in pollination. So it is definitely C. When we kill the insects, such as bees, we will decrease the numbers of pollinators. It's not A, it's C. The graphs show changes that occur in a lake during the process of eutrophication. Now, time on the x-axis and the biomass on the y-axis. We have time and concentration on the y-axis in another graph. What are the labels for W, X, and Y? Now, this can be a little bit tricky. Biomass here in W and X and Y. W, here it will increase and then decrease. What is decreasing? X, it will also increase and then it will decrease, but it will not decrease as much as Y. And the concentration here of Y, we don't know what is it, will increase and then it will drop rapidly. Okay. Now, biomass here and concentration here. Let's see what options do they have. They have either decomposers or producers or a gas. Now here we have the terms biomass and concentration. Now biomass here, what does biomass mean anyway?
Dry mass.
Yes, it is the mass of a living organism or it's not living.
Not
It is
living.
the dry mass, yes. It's the dry mass or the mass without water. For what? Oxygen or decomposers and producers?
Decomposers and producers.
Correct, because biomass here means the mass of something that is alive. Decomposers are living, producers are living, okay? So this graph, biomass, and W and X, they have to represent decomposers and producers. They cannot represent a gas. In a gas, we can use the term concentration. So Y has to be the oxygen gas. This is one way how you can figure it out. So Y has to be oxygen. So the answer is either A or C. It cannot be B or D. Let me erase because I messed things up. So I can know from the terms that concentration here is the concentration of a gas. So the answer is either A or C. W and X, they have to be biomass, decomposers or producers. Now let's see, it's A or C. Let's go here, W. They both increase and then decrease. But if you notice W, there is a great decrease, and X, they increase and then they decrease, but they decrease a little bit. Which one do you think is suitable to represent a producer
W.
or a decomposer? Yes, you're right. But why? We need to understand. W is a producer and X is a decomposer. Why did you choose W as a producer?
Because it highly decrease while decomposer
Yes.
increase, but not.
Yes, you're right.
W.
You're right. Producers, the plants, they will overgrow at the beginning, or the algae will overgrow and it will cause a sunblock. And then the producers will die. The plant life will die. So they will drop. And the decomposers, they will increase because we have a lot of dead organisms, the plants and the fish, and we will decompose them. And then they will decrease a little bit, but they will always remain high. And the oxygen will drop greatly. So the answer must be C. Okay, this is also a tricky question. They always have to give you one or two tricky questions. Nice. Okay, do you have time to solve another exam? I'll give you the option. Let's solve another exam. This is November 21. Let's solve November 22. 1 minute, let me download that.
So can we make it on Tuesday?
Because you have chemistry, yes? Okay.
Yes.
Fine. Okay, I'm receiving lots of questions on my WhatsApp, and I'm very happy with that because it shows me that you're working. Send me anytime. And on Tuesday we'll solve maybe 2 or 3 or 4 exams. You'll be finished with chemistry, yes?
Yes.
See you
Yes.
on Tuesday. Your chemistry, the exam is on Tuesday. You mean Wednesday?
No,
What?
Tuesday after the exam.
Okay. What time is your exam?
The
3.
exam finishes at 4 maybe. Can after 4 we
Okay,
can.
we can make it at 7 or 8 p.m. Fine. Okay, we'll see you Tuesday. Best of luck.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay.
You're welcome.